So Monique must be a psychic because she's backstage talking about how she thinks that Mayhem is throwing her under the bus on stage, and that is exactly what Mayhem is doing. And she even says, if I watch this back and she's throwing me under the bus, I'm going to give her an ungodly phone call and put it on YouTube. I checked. She ain't put it up yet, but when she does put it up, I am going to share it with you guys as well, because I was looking for that phone call. Anyway, I feel like she kind of knew it was going to happen. I don't know how she knew. I don't know if Mayhem said anything, but she knew, and she was like pleading her case with the ladies backstage. And then Dusty was just like, do you think that she's going to do that? And Monique was like, And she was right, because Mayhem was indeed throwing her under the bus. And I can't side with Mayhem on this one. I talked about it in my review. Mayhem was wrong. Monique did give her chances. You know, she did ask her if she was okay with it. Mayhem just didn't say anything. And I didn't see anything in Monique to like shut her down. I did think that Monique was a little bit extra when they were filming. But, you know, this is a competition. She's a leader and she wants to win. But I didn't see anything during the creative process. All I saw was Mayhem looking like this. It's okay. Like, you gotta say something. This is a competition. Your sisters are not gonna pull you through. Everybody is playing to win. You have to play to win. Mayhem did not play to win this episode, which is why she had to lip sync for her life. So, gosh, the Vixen makes it so hard for you to agree with her, but I do agree with her in this, because she said, I was chilling. You know what I mean? And Aquaria came for me. So now when I come back, and I come back a little harder, I'm the bad guy. That is true. The thing also about Vixen is that, like, because the girls are trying to get them to make up, because they want it to be a very positive environment, because like I said before, they go through so much. This is the one place where they are being accepted and like loved, and I don't know, like they are being put on a pedestal and being embraced on a network that is mainly straight. So this is like a huge accomplishment, right? So to bring so much negativity into a space that is supposed to be a safe space for people from a marginalized community, it's just like, you don't really want to see that, because we're rooting for you. We don't want to see this nastiness that they have going on. And I think with Vixen, you want to agree with Vixen, but then Vixen does something and it's just like, enough. Like, that is like, chill, calm down, we get it, move on. Like, read a chick down for filth and move on. Vixen don't move on. She stays there. And then she's talking about how, y'all know who I am. I came here to fight. I love each and every one of y'all, but if you come for me, I'm gonna tear you down, I'm gonna fight you. And it's just like, girl, you gotta give us a break. You gotta give us a break from, you know, violent Vixen, because that's what your drag is coming off as now. You're coming off as violent Vixen. Be Vixen that can read and shade and slay the runway and slay these challenges. That's what we want to root for as fans. I can't root for you if you're getting on my nerves. So I guess this was Aquaria's week to get it, because everybody starts jumping in and talking about how nasty she is. And I guess, you know, we don't get to see everything. I felt like she was just like, you know, the shady young queen. I didn't know that she was like coming at everybody and just like being really negative and getting on the queen's nerves. I didn't know anything about that. Then Dusty jumps in, and I didn't understand what Dusty was talking about. Like, she was saying that she couldn't really call Aquaria a friend, and then Aquaria looking in a mirror and people taking offense to it. I didn't know what Dusty was saying, but homegirl got her screen time. Although to me, it ain't make no sense. But she got it. The Untucked was so much better than the episode, because Aquaria, everybody's telling Aquaria that she has offended them in some way. Aquaria starts crying. Then Vixen is just like, oh no. Now, with you crying and me coming at you and you crying, now you have created the narrative that I am the angry black woman picking on a little white girl. Whoa, baby. They could have made this an hour and left that, gave us 30 minutes of that episode, because that episode was nothing. But this Untucked, good job. Leave me alone. Now listen, I get what Vixen is saying, right? I honestly get it. I do think that she is being very smart by calling out how she's going to look on the show. The narrative being Aquaria being, you know, frail and white, and this, you know, strong black queen coming after her. I get it, because even I was like checking how I was seeing the situation. And again, we the viewers don't get everything. So all all I'm getting is Vixen cussing her out, telling people that she's here to fight, telling the queens that she loves them, but she'll fight them, and Aquaria being shady and snidey, but I'm only getting little clips of it. And that's the problem with editing, because the queens are saying that Aquaria did these things. Why didn't we see it? Why didn't we see her making those comments? Why didn't we see her being shady to Dusty? Like, we don't see any of those things, but we see Vixen in her, you know, violent ways. I'm glad she called that out so that her image could be protected, because even I was seeing it a certain way. And I still kind of do think that Vixen needs to let it go, because it's not as important as you winning this competition and making yourself a Miss Vanjie or a Shangela after this show. Because at the end of the day, I feel like anybody who comes on reality TV or any type of competition show, you are on this show giving yourself free promotion and an entire commercial for you to use when you leave this competition. So when queens or when anybody gets into these petty drama and fights, I'm like, this is not the best commercial you can give your brand. So that's why I just want Vixen to read and move on and not dwell. I think she dwells on things, and that just makes it uncomfortable to watch. I wish she would read, let it go, and move on and kill and slay competitions, you know, do her little comedic bits in her confessionals, pull like, you know, I was going to say, no, Latrice didn't get into anything. Who was a queen that would get into stuff but always bounce back from it? And Alyssa Edwards used to get into a lot of stuff, because Alyssa got a slick mouth and she had rubbed some queens the wrong way. She would get into it with them in the workroom, then she would like read them in her confessional, like be hilarious in the confessional, then do a fun runway, then have these funny catchy moments. And you got levels to Alyssa. She didn't get on your nerves with the beef, because Alyssa was in multiple beefs, right? And I feel like Vixen just stays in beefs and she's not building herself in any kind of way. That's what's bothersome. But I'm glad this conversation happened, and I'm hoping that all the Drag Race fans who watch the episode watch this Untucked and sees what Vixen is talking about with Aquaria, because we get another side to Aquaria that we the viewers have not seen, but we can hear from the other queens that she's this nasty snide person taking shots and jabs at queens, and then when people respond to her, she cries and plays victim. White feminism in drag. I wish Vixen would have listened to Monique, because Monique told her something that was so smart and so real and so true. And I feel like maybe it's because of Vixen. How old is Vixen? Is she like early 20s? I feel like she needs to live a bit more, and I think she'll probably get it later in life. But if she's in like her late 20s and 30s, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. But Monique said to her, you're going to hinder your blessing, because you are always on the defense, and Vixen is always on the defense. And to me, that comes from something that she endured. But the issue with that is not everybody is coming after you. But if you're reading everything as an attack, you are going to hinder a lot of opportunities. Even here, when somebody is speaking to her kindly and defending her, she can't hear it, because she wants to hear that you were right with how aggressive and abrasive you were to Aquaria. We're all defending that. Like, she came at you, she cannot direct how you're going to come back at her. You know what I mean? She can't say, well, although I came at you, you should have came at me at a 5, like Miss Cracker suggested. You can't do that. You cannot tell somebody how to respond when they've been attacked or offended. Like, you just can't call that, right? We all agree. But the thing is, Vixen can't hear anything. She can't even hear the good stuff, because she's always on the defense. And I think that comes from something that happened to her, and we're probably not going to get that until later in the season, if she lasts that long. And I think she will. I think she'll make it pretty far in the competition. So the queens come back, like the queens who were on stage come back to backstage with the other queens, and they look like they have just walked into something, because the energy is so different. Nobody is really talking, and they're like, is everything okay? I was looking at Eureka's face the whole time, because she was like, that would have been me. Monique was already on a 10 when Mayhem walked in, because she felt that she was going to throw her under the bus, and she did. And she's asking questions or whatever. She's like, Mayhem, what happened? And Mayhem is not saying it. She's being very polite and using different wording than she used on stage with RuPaul. And like, Monique could feel it. And she was like, you know, I'm going to check my tone, because I'm already on a 10. So I don't want to be on the defense, but I knew that I was going to be thrown under the bus. And she tries to like get into a conversation with her. And then Eureka jumps in, and she does not have to jump in. I don't know why Eureka would say something when the queens are all complaining about how difficult she is. And then Monique starts blotting makeup and I can hear my name exchange. Blot it away, girl. Blot it away. I'm telling you, this Untucked was so much better than the entire episode. Wow. So Mayhem and Monique never really resolve anything, which is good because I feel like next episode is going to be good because that is when they're going to get into it, because I saw a little bit of it in the preview from next week. So I'm like, fine, don't resolve it here. Resolve it next week and give us the episode we deserve. Mayhem not speaking up and being an adult and taking ownership over your actions got you in the bottom. Not being a team player. You weren't a team player. They were pulling stuff out of you. You weren't even a part of the team. You got yourself there, sweetie. And it bothers me that you still don't recognize that. Yuha didn't expect to go home this early. She thought that at least she would be on the top. Yep, you thought. Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie, Miss Vanjie. Immigration, immigration, immigration. We're getting a lot of sound bites from this show. You know, seeing Yuha leave, it's always sad when you see a queen leave because, you know, this is... One, it's a very supportive environment and they're having a good time. They're having a lot of fun and they're with their sisters, right? And also it's a competition that can change their life and it's a huge opportunity for them. So everybody is, you know, full of emotions. And although I felt like Yuha should have went home this episode, I still feel bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to see somebody not win at something they've been, you know, wanting for a very long time. But, you know, she's in a Drag Race family, so you'll be fine, girl. You'll be performing at Hamburger Mary's again, and I can vouch for your performance because you performed at my birthday. Well, I keep on saying my birthday party. I went to Hamburger Mary's on my birthday, and Yuha was there, and I had a fabulous time. She was an amazing performer. I even like had like straight guys there who had never been to like a drag show before, let alone like a gay bar, and they were like, first they were like, oh my gosh, what is this? At the end of the night, they had the best time ever. Like, all of my straight guy friends that I invited are like Drag Race fans now. So you are a part of that, Yuha. Look at you, girl, changing the world one straight man at a time. Anyway, that's where it ends. I enjoyed Untucked more than I enjoyed the episode. Did you have that same reaction? Let me know in the comment section below what you thought about this Untucked and how you felt about this Untucked compared to the episode. And as usual, if you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you next week for the following episode of Untucked as well as Drag Race. Love you guys. Thanks for always chatting with me and liking and, you know, doing everything. I love it. I really, really do. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.